What is the thing that you think you want? Break it down, break it fucking down to the feelings you think it's gonna bring you, okay?
I've never heard it explained like this, and honestly, it combined all of the things we hear about manifestation and made it a total game changer for me. Let me share with you an experience that I had after I watched this video. So I know I've talked a lot about Morgan Wallen, blah, blah, blah. I went to the concert, but I want to talk about how I ended up going to the concert because I think the process through which I manifested that sheds a lot of light on what she's talking about here. So I had just started getting into Morgan Wallen. I really wanted to go to the concert. And when he came to San Diego, he came for 2 nights. He sold out Petco Stadium, is that what it's called? And tickets were baseline $650, and these were for the nosebleed seats. And I at first put it out there on my family thread and said, hey, let's go to Morgan Wallen, and thinking in my mind that one of my family members would cover the ticket for me, and they were like, yeah, keep dreaming, those tickets are so expensive. So then I checked with some friends that I had and said, hey, would you guys all want to go? Let's sit in the nosebleeds. I was like, I'll just get the worst tickets possible and just go. I'll somehow come up with the money. And they all checked the prices and they were like, sorry, sis, like, we're not spending that. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going with those friends. So then my last ditch effort was to try to win tickets on a radio station. I heard it on the radio and I was like, oh, I'll call this hotline and try to win tickets like circa 1989. Well, that didn't work. So I was like, okay, look, I am trying way too hard. I know I'm going to get what I want, because I always get what I want. And if that sounds confusing and delusional to you, go back and watch my video where I talk about lucky girl syndrome and how I've always had it and why I have it. So I was like, listen, I know I'm going to go to Morgan Wallen. Like, I'm just going to sit back and relax and let the universe do its thing. But in the meantime, I'm going to start to imagine what it would be like to go to Morgan Wallen. And this is what she talks about in her video. She talks about feeling the feelings as if you already have it, as if it's already happening, and then planning all of the semantics around the fact that you're going to have it. So that part I knew how to do for manifesting, but feeling the feelings was a little bit more of an elusive exercise for me. But as I'm getting ready to go to the concert, I am shopping one day at the mall and I'm looking for a dress and I see this super cute fringy skirt. Here's a picture of it that I wore to the concert. And I was like, that is the cutest skirt to wear to Morgan Wallen. And since I'm going to Morgan Wallen, I need an outfit for it. So I never ended up finding the dress that I went to this particular store to. I never found anything for that event, but I did find an outfit for Morgan Wallen. I also found these really cute cowgirl boot earrings, and I was like, oh, for sure need that. So I bought an outfit for Morgan Wallen, and I hung it up in my closet special, and I really didn't wear it much because I was like, no, I want it to be perfect for Morgan Wallen. Then I started to listen to Morgan Wallen a lot in my car. So like everywhere I would go, I would start listening to his playlist because I was like, I want to learn all the songs so that I can belt it out and sing it. I did make a fun post on TikTok because I was like, hey, like, might as well put it out on TikTok that I want to go to Morgan Wallen. But that was the extent of any sort of advertising. I wanted to go to the concert. I just kind of sat back and I was like, it's going to happen. So a couple weeks before the show, I had a couple of friends invite me out to events on those 2 nights that he was playing. And I was like, nope, I'm keeping my calendar wide open. By Monday before the show, I was like, I have no date. I have no tickets, but I'm going to Morgan Wallen. But I was starting to get a little nervous. I was starting to get a little like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to go. But I never once entertained, I'm not going to go. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to go. Like, I never let that thought enter my mind. I would just push it out when it would come in, and I would start focusing on the good vibe feelings of being at the concert. So when I was in my car, I would turn up a song I really liked to Morgan Wallen and like sing it and like go off as if I was at the concert. I also started to open my mind up to the idea that like, I don't know how the universe is going to bring it, but I know I'm going to go to the show. So I stopped trying to like in my mind picture that I was on a date or that I was going with a certain group of people, or I never entertained like how could it happen, because then I feel like you're pigeonholing yourself into a circumstance that may or may not happen. I think it was Tuesday. I get a text from one of my really good dear friends, and she was like, and I kid you not, I had never mentioned to her really anything about this except that like, hey, it'd be cool to go to this show. But I had not told her about any of this manifestation. She texts me out of the blue on Tuesday and she's like, hey, we have tickets. We have an extra ticket to go to Morgan Wallen. Do you want to go? And I was like, hell yes, I want to go. Turns out that A dear, dear friend of mine had bought 6 tickets, didn't know if he was going to be able to make the show, felt really, really bad because he was out of town and didn't want the tickets to go to waste, so was sending it out to all of his close friends to see who of them wanted to use the ticket. So who ended up volunteering? None other than my dearest friends. My child went, my daughter came. One of my very best friends in the whole world came. Another great dear friend came and her son. Like, we had the best time. And I had multiple times during the show where I looked around the stadium and I was like, I manifested this. Like, I want to say that it was out of the graciousness of these lovely people's hearts, and it absolutely was. It was their generosity that made it happen. But honestly, it was my good vibe feelings and just knowing it was going to happen that brought it into my life. And it's always for the highest good. That's another thing that's amazing, is it's not always going to happen the way that we think it's going to happen or the way that we want it to happen. Sometimes it happens in the way that's for our best good. This is the last thing that I'll say. I obviously was like, oh, it'd be fun to go with like a cute man to this show. But as it got closer, I started to realize I'm kind of in my hermit girl era. I'm not dating a lot. I don't even actually want to go with a guy because then I have to worry about, handling his emotions all night. And is he happy? And what do I owe him because he bought me these tickets to this show? Like, to be honest, like, when it got closer, I was like, this is actually the best way that this could have happened. Me with my bestest friends, like most loves of my life, in a relaxed environment where we can just all let loose and have fun.